Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For a down south education on Florida sports and athletics, it's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Hello, everybody, and happy Saturday. I am so happy to be back with you guys. My name is Corey Pujols. I am your host for Palm Tree Sports Radio, which is brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And as I mentioned before, welcome back, you guys. It's been a few weeks that I've been without you. I do apologize for the 2-week delay. I was battling the flu along with my son. However, we have both overcome it, and we are back and better. So glad to be back with you guys. I missed you guys, and we got a lot to talk about today, so I'm ready to get into it. Before I get started with the show, I would like to send out a quick shout out to my high school here in Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Tech Titans are representing here down south in Tampa. They are 8-0 on the season with a primetime matchup against Jesuit right around the corner next week. Keep going, Titans. We believe in you guys. We love you guys, and you're making us very proud. Let's go, Titans. And also, for those of you who are happen to be watching college football on this lovely Saturday afternoon, I actually just recently found out that the quarterback for the Washington football team, that is the Washington State football team, so up there, Seattle area, he actually went to Tampa Bay Technical High School, and so congratulations on the Penix. He has been absolutely phenomenal this season at quarterback, and he is also a Heisman hopeful, so we hope he continues his campaign of dominance this year as they are taking on Oregon today. With that being said, we're here to talk about Florida athletics and sports, and let's go ahead and get things started with the NFL. So that's where we normally get things started, and the team that we're going to talk about first is obviously going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is my favorite team representing Florida, and they will always be my favorite team. Of course, we're going to cover the Dolphins and the Jaguars in a little bit as well, but let's go ahead and get into what's going on with the Buccaneers tomorrow. We will be hosting, in my opinion, the game of the week. Tomorrow. That's going to be against the Lions, so it's going to be Buccaneers hosting the Lions, as I was saying. With that being said, it's going to be a very, very tough game. This is not going to be like last week, or my bad, 2 weeks ago when the Buccaneers played the Saints. This Lions team is 3-1, and they have all the right pieces in all the right places. They're playing tremendous on both sides of the ball. They're dominating the NFC North right now as they speak, as we are dominating the NFC South. This matchup is coming to you just before prime time at 4:25 p.m. if you're looking for something to watch after your early games, your 1 o'clock games, which we will talk about a couple of those in a minute as well. This is going to be the game, in my opinion, to watch for this week. I think this is going to be the best game on the card. Both of these teams are coming in having had low expectations to start the season, yet have been surprising nonetheless. So I can't wait to see what unfolds tomorrow at 4:25. I'm hoping that Tampa Bay is able to put together a masterful game and put away the Detroit Lions. The score for this game, I reckon, will be very close, and I would not be surprised if one of these teams scores over 30 points. I think the team that will score over 30 points will be Tampa Bay, so I'm going to go with Tampa Bay 31-24 to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a late touchdown by Baker. We've had an extra week now that our bye week has been completed to get healthy and to get the game plan together. I think in the NFL that this is all the time that a team should need in order to come together and figure out an answer against another team that's playing extremely well and proficiently. So I'm looking forward to seeing what takes place there. Let's go Buccaneers. Like I said, 31-24 Buccaneers. I think our Buccaneer defense is going to be the difference in the ball game, of course. And with that being said, let's go ahead and go over a couple of injuries while I have the this part of the show going on. There's only one person, for the first time in 5 or 6 years, guys, we only have one person that is questionable, and nobody is out. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. For the first time in God knows how long in Tampa Bay's history, we finally have a full crew to rock with on Sunday, okay? And the reason why that's a big deal is because the one person that may be out who's questionable is Shaq Barrett, inside linebacker. He's questionable with illness, but if we know Shaq, he's not going to let an illness stop him. I suspect that if he gets over it either today or early in the morning tomorrow, that he may just decide to give it a go. If he doesn't, and there's somebody who deserves a rest on this team, I would say Shaq Barrett is chief among them. I believe that this Buccaneers team should be the best, most well put together version of our team that we've had since the start of this season. Everybody is going to be available. That includes a lot of our rookies and Kalijah Cansey, as well as SirVocea Dennis, who have both missed some time since the beginning of the season. So get ready for that, guys. Coming off the heels of Tampa Bay's success over in New Orleans, this is something that I'm going to harp on for a second just because here in Tampa, our number one arch nemesis is the Saints, okay? It's not the Panthers. It's not the Falcons. Yeah, we don't like those teams. But when you talk about two teams that just don't like each other, you know, the Packers and the Bears, you know, the Giants and the Eagles. Like, when you find two teams who just don't like each other as much as these two teams don't like each other, it's always good to go in there and put a whooping on them, and that's what we were able to do. The Buccaneers dominated the Saints in a 26-9 victory, improving the team to 3-1. This is what we love to see here in Tampa Bay. It's been a while since we've done this, and this is the first time in franchise history that Tampa Bay has ever beaten the Saints 3 games in a row. So that would be 2 games last year, and then this game this year, okay? So we're looking to extend that streak to 4 or 5, 100, a million. I mean, you get the idea. We don't ever want to lose to the Saints ever again, okay? But let 2 Sundays ago be a reference to what Tampa Bay is capable of doing against this Saints team. Mike Evans was clearly able to run up and down the field until his hamstring gave out, and the rest of the team played absolutely phenomenal. Baker Mayfield was playing lights out, and you guys could see that the Saints were starting to take cheap shots on him and other players as well due to the fact that they could not keep up. A lot of the star players that the Saints had did not show up against Tampa Bay, and we're praying and hoping for continued success against them in a similar fashion. Again, the score of that game was 26-9, proving us to 3-1, putting us alone at the top of the division, and also giving us an inside track on what it's going to look like on an early playoff berth for Tampa Bay to win this conference, or this division, I should say. Conference comes after the division, guys. Now then, with the Buccaneers playing very well, the next game that they're going to have is going to be against the Atlanta Falcons. That game comes on Sunday, October 22nd at 1 p.m. I'm looking forward to that game just simply because obviously we're going to need another division win under our belt. And what other way to get one other than going into a division's household and taking it, okay? And that's what we plan on doing to Atlanta, so no hard feelings, Atlanta, but we would like to win this division again. If you guys don't mind, siéntate, grab a seat, and just wait until we are done because we're not finished yet, all right? Go Bucks. Now, that's what's going on for Tampa Bay. Let's slide on over to Duval County and talk about those Jaguars. Those Jaguars who made me so proud last week, defeating the Bills 25-20. That game took place in London, if I'm not mistaken. What a game it was. I was able to watch the majority of it, and I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow when the Colts come to town against the Jaguars, both teams coming in at 3-2. It looks to be absolutely phenomenal shake-up to the rivalry that those two teams already possess inside the AFC South. I'm absolutely looking forward to the Bolts game. Obviously, the Bolts now back in hockey. With the season coming back around, I've been waiting for this for a few months now, especially since we've had some time to recollect ourselves, get a little bit younger, get a little bit fresher during the offseason. So yes, absolutely, this looks to be possibly the game of the night for hockey. But that's, referring to hockey. We'll get back to that in a second. Let's continue on with the Jaguars, though. And as I mentioned before, the Jaguars are going to be hosting the Colts to add another installment to this rivalry tomorrow at 1 p.m. I have no idea what to expect for this game, especially if Anthony Richardson is starting this. Both teams have a lot going for them at the moment. The Indianapolis Colts are very young and very tenacious at the moment behind the helm of Anthony Richardson, who is a former Florida Gator, so I know just how gifted the kid really is. With that being said, he does run with a reckless abandonment that will get him messed up playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, he knows the Jacksonville Jaguars pretty well, given that he played college football not too far away from there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has the ability to run around this team a little bit better than he's done in recent games. But The Jacksonville Jaguars have a lot of continuity on this team, and a lot of healthy players are going to be able to help them control the time of possession, which is what I believe will be the difference in the game. If I had to pick a score for this game, I'm going to go with the Jags winning the game 27-20. This game is going to be another close one. I absolutely see Anthony Richardson going nuts, but I don't think that they have what it takes to pull out against a team with enough continuity such as the Jacksonville Jaguars. Looking forward to that game. Go Duval, go Jags, and of course, good luck to Anthony Richardson, our former Gator. Go Gators. We'll talk about what they have going on in a little bit. But moving on from there, the next game that they're going to play is going to be against the Saints. That game is going to be played Thursday, October 19th at 8:15 p.m. Guys, get ready for that game. That should be a good game, as the Saints are not going to sit there and take losses lightly. And I fully suspect that the Jaguars, especially if they're able to get this win against Indianapolis, should be moving into a wonderful spot, looking at a 5-2 start. I don't know if that's the first time in franchise history, but it definitely would be one of the few times that it has happened in their history. So go Jags. We believe in you guys. Let's go Duval, stand up. And then following week in Thursday Night Football, go ahead and destroy those Saints for us. Of course, it's Tampa Bay. We're going to be rooting for you guys to handle that game. So, good luck, Jags. Moving on from there, guys, the third and final team that's going to be playing football this Sunday coming out of Florida is going to be the Miami Dolphins, guys. The Miami Dolphins arriving here at a 4-1 record, with their only loss coming to the Buffalo Bills a couple of weeks ago, where the Buffalo Bills absolutely destroyed them. No surprise, that's a division game for you. They're going to be close ones, and they're going to be obviously not close ones, and that was an example of one of those games not being close, guys. I believe that the Fins are going to come and absolutely destroy the Panthers. I believe this could be another one of those games where they put anywhere near 70 up, or maybe a little bit less. Obviously maybe they'll be more modest than they were, against the Broncos. But you guys get what I'm saying. This game will not be competitive. The Panthers are coming in at 0-5, and they're visiting. So the Panthers, one of the worst teams in the league at the moment. Obviously not playing really good football. They're really, really young, and obviously they let go of C-Mac late last year, which I think was the biggest mistake that franchise has ever done. But then on the flip side, congratulations to C-Mac heading over to another powerful football team in the San Francisco 49ers, the team I've been impartial to since I was a young boy. So congratulations to C-Mac on upgrading, or being upgraded to a better team. Unfortunately, the Panthers at 0-5 don't have much going for them. Like I said, very young team. It's going to take them some time. Reminds me of Tampa Bay when we first got Jameis Winston at quarter. So let's give them some time and see if Bryce Young can morph into that quarterback that he needs to be for the future. Hopefully not against Tampa Bay, but you guys get what I'm saying. That game will be played tomorrow at 1 p.m., just in case you're looking for the early game. So as I mentioned before, both of the AFC games are going to be the early games, and then the NFC game is going to be the late game, and I believe, like I said, it's going to be the game of the week. So if you guys are going to be watching either the Jags or the Fins play, after that, Tampa Bay will be playing at 4:25 from one game right into the next, guys. So that's it, what you're looking for tomorrow for lunchtime. Referring back to how the Fins have been doing, obviously I wasn't here last week, so we'll get to go over what happened last week with them. They were able to defeat the Giants 31-16. Not a big surprise. The Giants are playing pretty terrible football right now. I think it comes behind bad coaching and bad quarterbacking. I don't believe the coach nor the quarterback are actually very good for the Giants, and that will only continue to lend more credence as we continue on down the season. The games are not going to get easier for them. Obviously, they've already played the Cowboys and Eagles. They're going to have to go play the Eagles again. Washington's playing pretty good football at the moment. Now, they need a little bit more help than what they have, but they are playing decent football at the moment. So the Giants are struggling, and obviously that is exactly why the Fins were able to take advantage of them. That beating took place on a score of 31-16. They could have scored more points, did the Dolphins, but, hey, 31 points, whatever, we'll take it, you know what I mean? Obviously, we are expecting them to continue this high-rolling offense that they possess behind Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and so on and company. So, good job, Fins. Keep it up. The next game you have is against the Eagles. That game takes place Sunday, October 22nd. That's going to be an 8:20 start time, late prime time football game for two of the very best to do it in the league right now. Here's hoping that the Fins are going to be able to hand the Eagles their first loss of the season if the Eagles don't lose tomorrow. I don't like the Eagles. There's no, confusion about that. The Eagles have knocked out Tampa Bay from the playoffs multiple times, and they obviously hold a dark cloud over our head that we were able to finally eviscerate and vanquish when Rondé Barber turned into a shock trooper and absolutely single-handedly destroyed that team. So Go Fins. Destroy those Eagles in primetime Sunday Night Football, October 22nd. That's not this week. That would be the following week, guys. I believe they have a bye week this coming up week. So, just be prepared for that, guys. 8:20 start time, and that's 8:20 p.m. So, obviously, make sure that you guys are ready on Sunday Night Football after all the late games take place for a big game, all right? And that game is going to be, again, the Fins versus the Eagles, all right? Guys, let's go ahead and take our first break of the evening. When we get back, we're going to go ahead and talk about what's going on with the Gators, the Noles, and the Canes. We'll slide into the recap of what happened in MLB as far as the Rays are concerned with their season coming to an end. And then we'll also get into what's going on in NHL, UFC for tonight, and some NBA basketball, guys. Keep it locked here at Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pools, your host. And as always, it's brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff from my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez. That's one man who knows how to get it done, talking about SoCal over there. On the other side of the United States, that's a guy who gets it done, and shout out to him if you're hearing me, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. I love the work that you do. Keep drawing inspiration from you guys every time I get a chance to listen to your shows. Now then, we're on the other side, right? The East Coast, that's West Coast. We're East Coast guys, and we're back, here at Palm Tree Sports Radio. Again, my name is Corey Pools. I am your host, and as always, is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, guys. Right now, our Florida Gators are in a dogfight against SC. That would be South Carolina, not to be confused with USC. And I just have a couple of things to point out about this game. First things first, guys. I've been watching football for a long time, okay? For a very, very long time, so bear with me when I say what I'm about to say. But when you've been watching football for 25 years, you can see when there's imbalance in two teams playing the game. And let me tell you, this game doesn't have an imbalance. Yes, the Gators have shot themselves in the foot a couple of times, not to be outdone. That's what we do, all right? Here in Florida, we play great football sometimes, and sometimes we don't. Now, with that being said, the referees have been absolutely throwing this game, all right? Now, the reason why I say that is because I'm a fan of a game being played properly. Last week, we had the Red River rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma, which will soon be part of the SEC, which I cannot wait for. But the problem here is that game showed us how football is supposed to be played. In my opinion, that was the game of the year. And at least so far, it's been the game of the year, guys. And it set a standard for what to expect when you watch college football. Now, when you watch college football and you don't see that kind of game being played, you ask yourself what's going on. Sometimes teams are just better than others. This is not one of those situations. Now, they've called 7 penalties on SC, all right, and which is more than the Gators. The problem is it should be double that. The amount of penalties that they've gotten away with is just absolutely flabbergasting and unnecessary, and it's also very frustrating knowing that the score is only this way because of the fact that they're getting all the help from the refs that they're getting. This was not the case. This score would be easily more slanted than it already is. With that being said, the current score of the game, now that South Carolina just scored a late touchdown, is going to be 31-27 SC. As I said before, SC is playing okay football, right? But the refs are definitely keeping them in this game. There have been a couple of calls that just have not been called flat out. And if they were, they would most likely be changing the dynamic of the game. So, with that being said, the Gators arrived to this game against SC sitting at a 4-2 SEC record, or overall record, I should say, with a 3-1 record inside our own conference. 2-1 record inside our own conference. Doing very good performance-wise, sporting the number 5 defense in the country and the number 1 defense in the SEC, which is obviously likely to change with the fact that we've allowed 31 points here to SC. With that being said, I'm still extremely proud of the way the Gators have been playing football, but there are a few critiquing issues here, okay? First and foremost, this defense starts very, very slow, okay? This defense has allowed first quarter touchdowns in each of the last 3 games, I believe it is, which is just kind of ridiculous because when you think Florida, you don't think allowing touchdowns, you think really good defense and speed, right? Like if you talk to somebody else who's outside of Florida and you ask them, what does the University of Florida possess? You're going to say good defense and speed, okay? That is not what this team has looked like on defense, okay? This is not what this team has looked like. Don't let the numbers fool you. I watch every Gator game. This defense needs to tighten up, and they need to start a little bit faster, okay? Now, among the good things that are going on, well, first and foremost, Ricky Pearsall, catch of the year. There's really no other way to say it. For those who haven't seen it, I suggest you guys go anywhere, YouTube, whatever, and go check out that catch. It's absolutely amazing catch. It was against Charlotte, I believe it was the team that he had the catch. Speaking of Ricky Pearsall, he catches the ball for a 6-yard gain. That's going to lead us to 3rd down and 4. Gators are moving the ball, need to do a little bit better, and that's one of the areas that they can improve on is the receiving core. It's very simple. We have Ricky, and then after that, it's a bit questionable. We need some guys to step up and really make a name for themselves. Last week, it was going to be the tight end Boardingham. This week, it seems to be Ricky back in the shape of the things that he's doing normally, which are making circus catches, running beautiful routes, scoring touchdowns, typical pretty Ricky attitude and sportsmanship from him. So keep doing what you're doing, Ricky. Rest of the receivers got to step up, guys. We definitely need to read the field better. Graham is making a lot of errant throws, things that I'm just not used to watching him do, and that's because the coaching has been saving him for the most part. Now that the coaching isn't able to save him, he's got to make better decisions with the ball, and that includes getting the ball out faster when there's pressure in his face, okay? And it doesn't matter if it's incomplete or a reception. Just don't throw an interception, don't get sacked, all right, guys? Like, you're going to have to work on this. Billy, the coaching needs to tighten up. There's just been some really bad play calling and pinch situations, such as trying to get too cute with the football, double reverses, flea flickers, and things like that. Let's play Florida football. Okay, I understand you're trying to stand out and you're trying to, create areas of mismatches and get the defense guessing. The problem is the defense doesn't care. They're staying home. All right, Billy, your coaching has to be north and south. All right, you got to be like Alabama in '93 and go right up the gut. Okay, and stay with it. All right. So anyhow, that's what's going on with the Gators. They were able to put a trouncing on Vanderbilt last week in the form of a 38-14 win. Obviously, you come to expect that when the Gators and Vanderbilt play each other. As the running back for Vanderbilt, Davis, who shaped us up last year, he transferred over to University of Kentucky, which obviously, as you can see, is the reason why the Gators lost that game. So now that he's out of the way, the score has returned to a pretty normal Vanderbilt Gators score, like I said, 38-14. And that's going to lead us into our bye week. Next week, we're going to get, 6 full days of rest. We're going to need it because the game that comes up after that, guys, is the big one. It's Georgia. All right, guys. As you guys probably have already grown to know, the winner of the Florida-Georgia ball game is usually the team that has the inside track to SEC championship and then a national title. The Gators' hopes for a national title was vanquished when we suffered our second loss of the season. If they keep playing the way they're playing today against SC, they're going to be headed to the 3rd loss of the season as Graham Mercer's just gotten sacked. With that being said, 2 weeks from today, we'll be playing Georgia. That's number 1 ranked Georgia in the nation, 7-0 now after their beating that they put on to... Who did they play today? Obviously, I'm not keeping track of Georgia, but they played a game. They won the score of 37-20. I can't remember exactly who it was that they were playing. Vanderbilt. That's who they played. Ironically speaking, they played Vanderbilt, and they beat Vanderbilt pretty handily, improving to 7-0 on the season. Most likely, obviously, going to stay ranked 1. Brock Bowers suffered a light injury, but looks to be just an ankle sprain. That couldn't have happened at a better time for the Gators' sake, because if the Gators want to shake things up, this would be the best opportunity that they have to do so. In the meantime, between time, the Gators are going to have to get healthy and really focus on running the ball well against Georgia, because if they have no run game, they won't win the game. Out of all the meetings that Florida and Georgia has had, Pretty much everyone has been decided by the team that has the most rushing yards, so get ready for that. Of course, if you're betting on Georgia, that'd be a good bet. There's no expectation for the Gators to go in and win this game, but as I said before, if they want to shake things up, they're going to have to start in the bye week because this game is not going well against SC, and if they play anything like this against Georgia, Georgia will destroy them. That game is going to take place Saturday, October 28th at 3:30 p.m., so get ready for that, especially if you're looking for a late start time or if you're working early on Saturday and you're looking for something to watch coming home. That's going to be the game for you to check out. Florida, Georgia, the rivalry renewed one more time. Gators, Bulldogs, October 28th, 3:30 p.m., guys. And yes, thank you everybody in the comments. Shout out to IU Sports Radio for getting us here. You know, I can't be thankful enough to have this 50th episode, half a century of episodes, if you will, guys. This is the big 5-0 burger, and I'm excited to be here still doing this, and I look forward to doing so many more. So IU Sports Radio, thank you so much for you guys' continued support, and I pray for the success of this, this brand, and that we continue to make a name for ourselves, both individually and then obviously as IU Sports Radio as a whole, guys. Now then, we've gotten that little bit out of the way. Let us go ahead and move on to what's going on with the Noles. Now, the Noles game is already over, all right? So that's the good news for the Noles. They were able to put a trouncing on Syracuse today. Me and my father were talking about this earlier. We're pretty much sure that the Noles are in cruise control right now. They control their own destiny. Should they go undefeated, they have inside track, obviously, to a playoff berth, just knowing that, obviously, Michigan and Ohio State still have to play each other, and then, obviously, Penn State still back there. They're putting a whooping on the team they're playing against right now. Last time I saw the score is 56-zip. Go Penn State. We like you Nittany Lions down here. Got a lot of respect for you guys down here because we don't like Ohio State or Michigan. So go Nittany. But in the meantime, like I said about the Noles, they destroyed Syracuse in a score of 41-3. No surprise there. Syracuse came in with a 4-2 record, looking decent. But let's just be honest. Anytime that you're coming into FSU, you're gonna have to play your tail off, and that was just something they were not able to do. FSU improves to 6-0. They are ranked 4th in the nation. No surprise there, especially coming after last week's destruction of Virginia Tech in a 39-17 win. That's what the form of that game came into. This is, like I said, what you grow to expect when you watch FSU football, especially now that they have such a veteran offensive talent between Jordan Travis and that offensive line. There's a lot of continuity there, a lot of skill in the skilled positions. So these are things that are typical of Florida State. Next week, we're going to see if they're for real or not. They're going to come in and fight Duke. Duke, 5-0, guys. Playing good football right now, okay? No surprise there. Duke is ranked 17th. So it's... How can I say this? It's going to be a very competitive game, to say the least, okay? It's going to be a competitive game, and my apologies, I said Duke that they're going to be playing. They're not going to be playing Duke unless I'm tripping. They're going to be playing South Carolina. I'm sorry about that. South Carolina is actually ranked 12th, and that game is going to determine a lot for Florida State. I think they're going to win the game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game, though. Both of these teams are coming in undefeated. They're both coming in playing good football, and they're both coming in playing ranked football, more specifically. So get ready for ACC Showdown next week. Florida State versus UNC, and we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, between time, also in the ACC, we already have the Miami Hurricanes playing Duke tonight. That game is going to take place at 7:30 p.m. So if you're looking for a late game to watch, that could be one of the better ones for you guys to check out. That game is going to come to you in the form of a 4-1 Miami Hurricanes team suffering their first loss last week to Georgia Tech, and a 5-0 Duke team, undefeated, like I said, looking really good this season, ranked 17th. Guys, this game is going to be a big deal simply because the Miami Hurricanes played last week against Georgia Tech and had the game won. All right, the score of the game was 20-17 with seconds on the clock, not minutes, seconds on the clock. Okay, guys, and for whatever reason, all right, and I'm gonna go ahead and quote myself as to saying this was probably the worst decision ever, pretty much ever done. Stop looking for a flag there, Spencer Rattler. You dude, stop looking for a flag. Stop crying. Play the game. This game had the worst call that I've seen in college football history when they decided to run the ball instead of take a knee. I'm sure I don't know why they took the knee or didn't take the knee, I should say, but Miami screwed their own season when they had the game won. Okay, that's the bottom line of the scenario that took place there, and I don't know if there's going to be a way for them to recover from that, especially going against Duke right now, guys. I don't know, man. I'm supposed to be praising Miami. It's going to be hard for me to do that when you guys make a decision like that. Speaking of praising, it looks like that this Gator game is now over as South Carolina, although they got away with another hold that the referees did not call in the open field at that, have scored another touchdown, increasing the score by 10 points to South Carolina, 37-27, and this is just becoming a lopsided game again. The refs just are not calling the holding, guys. I mean, if I could hold this much, the Gators and the Buccaneers would win every game they ever played. All right, they really would. Jesus, so much holding. Anyway, guys, let's get back to the Canes. The Canes blew the game. The score of the game, Georgia Tech ended up scoring a touchdown, by the way. They didn't tie the game. They scored the touchdown for the go-ahead score and to win the game. So the score was 23-20. Guys, next week after Duke tonight, they have to go play Clemson. So think about that for a second. The loss to Georgia Tech, right, in the fashion that they lost to, right? Now they got to play undefeated Duke, all right? And then after that, they're going to go play Dabo Swinney's Clemson Tigers, okay? This is by no means an easy stretch for Miami, and I feel as much as so they're going to struggle, all right? They're flat out going to struggle, all right? I don't know what to expect, but this is not a good stretch for Miami. So best of luck to Miami, although I like Clemson more than I like Miami, so I'm just going to put that out there. I secretly hope Clemson beats Miami, but good luck to Miami tonight, all right? They got to play Duke anyway, and hopefully they play some good football. Hopefully they're able to recover from last week's debacle, to say the least, all right? Now then, that's what's going on in college football. Like I said, FSU looks like they're the only team that knows how to play football right now in the state of Florida, guys, and I'm not being dramatic. I'm just trying to be accurate with the statement. Good job, Noles. Gators, Canes, drawing board. Okay, that is my recommendation for both of these teams. And I know, Corey, you're being dramatic. Both of these teams have winning records, right? But they have to play good teams still. You see what I'm saying? They have good records because they've been playing teams that aren't that good. And when they play good teams, they don't play well. Hell, the Gators aren't even playing a good team. SC is 2-3, guys. Spencer Rattler is not a great quarterback. If he was a great quarterback, he would have been in the Red River rivalry last week with Texas. He's not. All right? He's not. He left Oklahoma because he was holding Oklahoma down. All right? Now they have that kid, Dylan, what's his name? And we saw what he did last week. The poise, the control, the ability. What a game. So Gators, y'all need help because y'all are getting beat by a quarterback who couldn't make it in Oklahoma and barely can make it in SC. All right? Go Gators. Figure it out, guys. Let's move on to the MLB. Guys, there's not much to talk about with the MLB. The Rays, they stunk it up like the Gators are stinking it up, all right? They played tremendous throughout the regular season. Started with the season with a record-breaking, 22 straight wins, guys? It was absolutely phenomenal to watch. Now we're not watching them anymore. As a big fan of the Rays, and I've been watching the Rays for a long time, guys. I think my first Rays game had to be when I was like 8 or 9 years old, all right? I've been watching the Rays a long time, guys. It's very frustrating to see them continuously get to the playoffs and play this way, okay? In the last 4 playoff games that the Rays have played, okay, they've scored 2 runs. Two, okay? Not 5, not 10, all right? 2. In 4 playoff games, all right? So I'm not sure what's going on with the Rays. I don't know. I know, obviously, injury played a big part in it, but at this point, I'm starting to question if we are the Buffalo Bills of MLB, all right? Is that what we are? Are we just Frank Wright and what's his name and Don Beebe and all those guys from that early 90s Buffalo Bills team are going to go to 4 Super Bowls and lose all 4 of them? Is that what we're going to do? Are we the MLB version of the Buffalo Bills? I hope not, guys. I really hope not. But this has just been a reoccurring thing for the Rays to get in the playoffs and to fall flat, whether it's the first series or the World Series. And I have to admit, it's very frustrating. It's coming from a place of love. I believe in this team. This team has been consistently making the playoffs, but also consistently losing in the playoffs. So Rays, let's get healthy this offseason. Let's make a couple of moves. Let's get Wander Franco back. But we need something, guys, all right? Because 4 playoff games, 2 runs. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. In that order. All right, Rays? We believe in you guys. Let's figure it out, and let's figure it out, like, this season, okay? I thought we were going to figure it out last season, but let's figure it out this season. All right, Rays? Let's go ahead and take our second break of the evening. When we get back, we'll go ahead and talk about a team who's actually being successful, okay, in the Lightning. Welcome back to, hockey season, and, we're gonna go from there, and then we'll also talk about what's going on tonight for what to watch in UFC Fight Night that's coming up. Going to be a decent card, so I'll give you some more information on what to check out for that. Thank you guys for having it locked here at Palm Tree Sports. Don't go anywhere. My name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
Yes, sir, and we are back at Palm Tree Sports Radio. Again, my name is Corey Pujols. I'm your host, and as always, is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And thank you guys so much. Yes, it's such a wonderful thing to be here. It's so funny. I never thought I'd find myself doing this. This is something that I had a love and a passion for that I didn't know I had until I got exposed to it. 50 episodes is such a milestone, not just for myself, but for anybody and everybody who supports this channel, this brand. And, I'm just praying for 50 more, 150 more if we can, until we can't, till the wheels fall off, guys. So thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. It really, truly means the world to me. That's why I'm here, and that's why I like being here. So with that being said, though, quick update on the Gators right now. It's third down. Gators trying to drive down the field right now on SC. 7 minutes, 50 seconds to go. SC is... They're pumped up, man. They're pumped up over there in SC, and I would be too if I had refs and everything else in my back pocket. But hey, whatever. Let's move on, guys. NBA is back in action, all right? So you know what that means. We got a little Orlando Magic, Miami Heat basketball going on, okay? So for those of you who do not know, I'm a Miami Heat guy, even though I live in Tampa. A lot of Tampa guys are Orlando, Orlando fans, but I'm a Miami guy. Been a Miami guy for a long time, really since they got D-Wade. I actually ended up going to high school with his nephew. So that was pretty cool. And who doesn't love Dwayne Wade? I mean, let's just be honest. Who doesn't love Flash? I mean, if you watched any basketball, you can't tell me that Flash isn't one of the greatest point guards to ever do it. The guy was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely amazing on the court. Won a bunch of championships, a couple with LeBron. LeBron's my favorite ball player of all time. So let's talk about what's going on there. Miami, everything's preseason right now. That's the first thing, okay? So it's okay because everything's preseason. And once we get into the swing of things, the regular season, that's when we'll dive deeper into the details. one of the details I want to talk about was obviously that the Heat were supposed to trade for Damian Lillard and they never got him, okay? I don't know how that's going to pan out for Milwaukee because that's the team that got him. That's probably something that they needed, and I feel like that team just got so much better because of it. With that being said, the Miami Heat played the Spurs, who were obviously flexing their number 1 overall pick, Victor Wembanyama, I believe his name is, and they won that game by a score of 120-104. So listen, Miami isn't like, they're not a bad team, okay? It's the preseason. This is what you expect. If y'all not okay, good. Gators converted a 4th down in 10, and why couldn't they just convert the 2nd or 3rd down? Well, whatever. Anyway, the Spurs had number 1 overall pick. They chose Victor Wembanyama, who played a great game yesterday. I watched a little bit of it against the Spurs until I started watching, I believe, SmackDown, then the high school football game that took place. By the way, if anybody knows the score of that Buford-Mill Creek score, please put it in the chat. They changed it over to preseason basketball before the game ended, and the last time I saw it was 24-24 after Mill Creek took a 4-minute drive, 4-minute offense to go down and score a game-tying touchdown with the number 1 quarterback in high school in the country, Dylan Raiola, moving Buford down the field in scoring position. I believe they were inside the 30. So if anybody has the score of that game from yesterday, please put it in the chat. I'll air it live real quick, but I definitely would like to know what happened because I wasn't able to follow up on that yesterday. Now, back to the NBA side of things, we slid over to the Lakers game, and I got to see the Lakers and Golden State. Those two teams look pretty good out there out west, okay? So that looks like that's going to be, a 2 or 3 or maybe a 4 seed between those two teams. They're both going to be top 5 this year. I think they both look great. The Heat, all right? The Heat are really the only team that did not improve, and that was a pass interference in the end zone call that the refs completely did not call. Wow. Great job, refs. Yesterday, the Spurs, the bottom line is this, guys. The Spurs absolutely put a whooping on the Heat. The Heat haven't really done much to improve, and in the offseason, there really weren't any splash moves. The main move was trying to get Damian Lillard, and they weren't able to do that. I don't think that was necessarily what they needed. I think they needed another big man in there, somebody that really could help solidify that indoor court, or my bad, that in the paint part of the court, I should say, as when you go back and you look at how the Nuggets were able to defeat the Heat. Well, they were able to do it because, Joker, right? Jokic is an absolute monster. But if you're going to defend him, you're going to need more than one big guy. This is not like playing against other big guys. You got to treat this man like Shaq because of his ability to get in the paint and still be able to do damage by passing the ball and creating space, okay? The problem is he's also a sharpshooter. The guy can actually hit from beyond the arc, and that was something that he showed against the Lakers and something he showed against the Heat, who both were great teams last year and played tremendous basketball down the stretch, okay? So in order for the Heat to return to any type of form that they did, especially knowing that Damian Lillard has already gone to a Milwaukee team that's already gifted as all hell, okay? They are going to have to play better basketball, guys. I was about to say football, but they got to play better basketball, okay? And they're going to have to play better basketball like now, okay? They can't afford to wait until next season because next season contracts are going to be up, trades are going to be done, and by that time they may end up losing more than they gain, okay? That's what's going on there for the Heat. The next game, also a preseason game, against the Grizzlies, will be played tomorrow at 6 p.m. So if you're looking for something to watch after football or after the Bucks game, which is not going to be exactly after the Bucks game. The Bucks game is actually going to go past, that 6 o'clock mark. But if you want to flip back and forth between two games, this is going to be an example for you to be able to see Miami Heat basketball against the Grizzlies. Grizzlies is a pretty solid team coming off of last year, one of the best teams out west. And I have every belief... Excuse me, my apologies, guys. I have every belief in me that they're going to play all of their star players tomorrow. So if you guys want to see a primetime matchup between two of the best in the league, the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies, turn that game on tomorrow, 6 p.m. Like I said, they're most likely all their starters will be playing at some point throughout the game, and I'm looking forward to that. So, touchdown, Gators, 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Boardingham showing his brilliance once again at the tight end position. Guys, he's a freshman for the record. This freshman is balling. Now the score is now 37-33 with a chance to kick an extra point. I don't think they're going to go for 2. They're going to kick the extra point, make it a 3-point game. Defense is going to have to step up and get a stop, and then we're going to have to go from there, guys. That's all I can tell you about that Gator game. But they can do it. All right, it's possible. It looks like the game is over, but it's possible. They have a chance. We'll see what happens, guys. Same thing with the game tomorrow, though, with the Heat and the Grizzlies. We'll see what happens. Miami has a chance, but if all the starters start, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ja Morant and those boys go off. All right? Orlando Magic basketball, okay, guys? They, on the other side of the coin, were able to beat the Cavs. That score came at a 108-105. That's preseason, of course. Like I said, all these games are preseason. Regular season starts next week. Get ready for that, guys. It's going to be a doozy. Can't wait. Obviously, a lot of these games are just breaking in a lot of young talent, helping them get accustomed to game time, what it feels like, what the NBA speed feels like right now. Obviously, you're going to have those guys like Victor Wembanyama who's going to come out. He's going to play tremendous basketball. He's going to do exactly what you expect him to do, especially coming out. I believe he's from France is where they technically drafted him from. So the kid is extremely gifted. Very, very long guy. All right, he's just a long guy with a lot of good ball skills. That's basically what it comes down. He put on some weight. And this is an example of what I mean, what the preseason is all about. Getting these kids ready to play NBA speed, NBA level. For those of you who watched any of the games yesterday, you guys got to see, either if you watched Miami game, you watched the Laker game, you guys got to see what the rotation was going to look like for a lot of these starters for their teams. And it showed, right? Because, for instance, watching the Laker game, they were able to, all the starters did what they did, all right? Austin Reeves, he balled out. LeBron had 18. AD was in there playing offensive, defensively. Russell, D'Lo was there. Like, everybody got the chance to touch the ball. Now, the Heat, they played a little bit more conservative basketball yesterday, of course, and who could blame them, right? Who could blame them, especially coming off an NBA World Championship 4-1 game loss, against the Nuggets, right? You don't want to rush into anything too quick right now if you're Miami. You know what you have on this team. You know you have a lot of great players. And you know you have a lot of field presence, okay? Unfortunately, like I said, I feel like they're missing a big man. That's something that the Orlando Magic were able to address during the offseason, both in the draft, okay? So they played a great game yesterday against the Cavs. Again, that was a 108-105 victory in an early preseason game. They now improved to, I think it's 2-1 on the preseason as they get ready to head into their next game. The next game is going to be played Tuesday, October 17th at 7 p.m. That game is going to be against the Pelicans, guys. So there's a big space between their games being played. This last game of theirs, the Cavs game, was played on the 12th, okay? Today's the 14th, so that game was played 2 days ago. I said yesterday, my apologies, but 2 days ago. Following game is going to be played 5 days later, so they're going to have plenty of time to rest up, get ready for the Pelicans, and be prepared for that game. So looking forward to see how Orlando performs there, and I really want to see if they're able to put it all together. This team is one of the youngest teams in the entire NBA. Okay, so Orlando has a lot going for them, but they have to continue to build. They have to create continuity, and they have to, again, continue to build upon that continuity and really play good defensive basketball. Okay, you guys know how I feel about basketball. It's the same thing with football. You want to score over 100, you want to keep them from scoring over 100. Simple and plain. I say the same thing about football. If you look at the Buccaneers and the way they've played football this year, that is a perfect illustration. This Buccaneers football team has been able to hold two separate teams to 17 points the first 2 weeks of the season. They let a team, the Eagles, get 25 points, and as a result, they lost that game. They come back and they hold the Saints down to 9 points while scoring 26 of their own. This is the recipe for success, guys. It doesn't matter what sport you play. You get to a specific number, you keep them from getting to a specific number. Very simple, okay? So, good luck, Magic, against Pelicans. Again, that game is going to be Tuesday, October 17th, 7 p.m. in case you're looking to check for that game. That's what to expect there on Tuesday. Guys, last two things that we have for the show. NHL hockey is back. Welcome back, Lightning. We missed you guys. We love you guys. And guess what? We're ready to support you guys one more time. Not really one more time. We're going to keep supporting you guys forever. We love you guys. In the meantime, between time, let's talk about the record. They arrived at a 1-0, starting the season off strong with a 5-3 beating on the Predators. Good job, Bolts. You come to expect it after a little while. I can't act like we don't. All right, here in Tampa Bay, we play really good hockey. I know they don't think we can, but we do. And we will continue to play great hockey. That includes going against the next team tonight, which is going to be Detroit Red Wings. This game is going to be a good game. I know the Red Wings come in with an 0-1 record, but anytime the Bolts and the Wings hook it up, it's always something to remember, and this should be no different. That game is going to take place tonight at 7 p.m. I should be flipping back and forth between that and the UFC Fight Night, along with this Notre Dame and USC game. That game's timeless for all you Notre Dame, USC people out there. what a game that's going to be, right? Both teams ranked inside the top 20. Top 20, I should say. Top 25, I should say. And, again, I'm looking forward to this. I don't have any stake in this game. I like Caleb Williams. Notre Dame, I like a little bit more than SC. So, hey, whoever wins, wins. I'm just going to rock with it like that, guys. But for the Bolts, again, tonight playing Red Wings tonight, 7 p.m. If you're looking for something to watch that's hockey related, that's going to be the move, guys. And, hey, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Go Bolts. Following game, all right, tomorrow, Senators, 7 p.m. All right, so that's 2 back-to-back 7 p.m. start times for the Bolts. They're going to have to travel a little bit, all right? I look forward to seeing that game as well. The Senators, I believe, are 1-0 at the moment. So you're going to have the Red Wings followed by the Senators. Both games, 7 p.m. If you're looking for Rays hockey, Bolts hockey, that is. If you're looking for Bolts hockey tonight, tomorrow, 7 p.m. start times for both the games. Keep an eye out. We're coming back, and we're looking to do better than we did last year, all right? For those of you who have been sleeping under a rock, the Bolts have managed to go to back-to-back World Cups. It was actually back-to-back-to-back World Cups, and won 2 of them, lost a third. So let's see if we can, dynasty ourselves and go get a third one in 4 years, replicate what the Patriots were able to do in the early 2000s, guys. So that's what's going on for the Bolts. Again, go Bolts. We love you guys. Rocking the blue all night for you guys, and can't wait to see, what takes place in that game. Gators were able to stop the run on first down as we're headed to second down in 11, second down in 12. Was that a loss of 2? It looks like a loss of 2. Second down in 12, 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Gators with a chance to get the ball back, try to stop them here on these next 2 downs and see what we can do with, a little 3-minute ball game and go from there. Last thing to talk to you guys about tonight from the world of sports coming out of Florida, guys. We got a UFC fight night tonight. If you guys are looking to see one of the greatest strikers to ever do it, okay, I'm not joking. One of the greatest strikers in mixed martial arts history is going to be dressing it up today. And guys, it's Edson Barboza, okay? So for those of you who have watched any part of his career, you guys know when it comes to striking, his prowess may be second only to Israel Adesanya's, okay? This man's Muay Thai skills are beckoning. Absolutely destructive power he possesses in all 8 contact points of his body, which would be his hands, his elbows, his knees, and his feet. This man has more knockouts than I think anybody else between the lightweight and the featherweight division. So if you guys are looking for a great main event, we have Sodiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza tonight. Main event of the fight night card. It's a fight night, so it's free if you have ESPN. Check that out. That one is starting in 7 minutes, guys. 7 minutes until that fight time starts. And the rest of the cards are going to be pretty decent as well. Again, another fight night. You know what that means. A lot of young talent. A lot of people that you guys should, write their names down and say, hey, I need to pay attention to this person. They could be a big deal within the next few cards, main events that they, pop up on. So, guys, Edson Barboza fighting again in UFC. Can't wait to see what he's able to do. I'm going to rock with him by knockout, of course. Probably somewhere in the second round, if not the first round. It depends on what happens. For Yusuff to really have a chance, he's going to have to wrestle because standing with Barboza is certain death. Unless you're Justin Gaethje. Then it's not certain death. But you get what I'm saying, guys. One of the best strikers you'll ever see. If you want to hook it up tonight, now's the time to do it, guys. That's what's going on in the world of sports, my friends. I'm so happy to have had you here tonight on this Saturday afternoon on my 50th episode. Again, means so much to be here for 50 episodes. I really had I've had a great time coming to you guys for the last year almost, actually. I think actually made it past a year now, and that I've been doing this, and I look to add so many more years to it. I love what I do. I love being able to talk to you guys and share all these different thoughts and opinions for you. We have so much going on in the world of sports, so I can't wait to get back to you next week and talk to you about with the updates of all of our teams and how our teams are doing, from the Florida Gators, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, down to those Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Hurricanes, the Bolts, the Rays, everybody, guys. I am just over the moon with the amount of sports that we have, and we are now entering the best time for sports. For those of you who know, October, November, December, the best time to be a sports fan. We have the holiday season, food, family, and football, baby. It doesn't get too much better than that. Insert your favorite sport there in that last part, guys. And speaking of, don't forget to spend time with your family this holiday season. Family is the one thing that we have in this world that is dedicated to us as we are dedicated to them, and we need to make the most of that and do what we can with them while we have the opportunity. Life is short, guys. Spend time with your family. Enjoy these holiday seasons. Enjoy the sports as we have everything going on but Rays baseball at the moment. Sadly. But you get what I'm saying, guys. Enjoy time with your family. Enjoy your time away from work. Be happy. Get ready for a loaded day of sports tomorrow. It features a lot of NFL football. And then let's wrap up tonight with a lot of great games in both college basketball and, of course, UFC Fight Night. So, with that being said, thank you guys again. And NHL hockey. Don't forget those Bolts are playing tonight, guys. But, again, thank you so much for having it locked here at Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols. I am your host. And, as always, it is brought to you and powered by IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll see you next week, guys. Peace.